there is this sort of lax way of thinking about HIV and thinking, oh, it can never affect me. But it's something that can affect anybody. It doesn't discriminate. I'm Sarah. I'm a senior sexual health nurse.
And we are the PoliticsJOE team. After seeing Keir Starmer this week take an HIV test, we wanted to give it a go ourselves.
Whoever you are, having a test is really simple, really easy, and everybody should get it done. And I hope that by sort of having a test on television and showing how easy it is, that might just go some way to people thinking, do you know what, it might be a good idea if I had a test.
So guys, has anyone ever had a HIV test, taken a HIV test?
I have, but I haven't done it myself.
Okay.
I've never taken one, no.
No, I've not.
Oh, fun. So this is the first time for all of us, and we're going to show you just how easy it is to do this test.
Cool.
So I'm going to start by you guys opening up your kits that are in front of you. And what I want you to pull out first is the information leaflet which comes out. Now, I'm not going to talk you guys too much through how to do it, because the idea is that it's very easy to do at home. You won't always have a nurse like me sitting right next to you to do it. So I want you guys to sort of take lead on how to test, and then I'll sort of just aid you a little bit where you need. And if you have any questions in between, just let me know.
I thought I'd be able to just sort of take a back seat and you do it for me. So
oh no, life's not always that good to us.
Yeah, no, I wish. Okay.
This is like, do you know when you're on an aeroplane and you get like the goodie bag?
Yes. Like a
Or
sick
with the
bag.
emergency instructions.
Oh no, I meant like the
Like the
amenities.
earphones
Oh,
and everything.
fine.
Like
yeah,
I'm looking
yeah.
in here for like the Bulgari scent. Like where is that? A bit of Clarins perhaps?
I'm currently rubbing my hands
And
to
has
make
everyone
them
washed
warm.
their hands?
Yes.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Wash
Yes.
my hands.
Fantastic.
Pre-broadcast and all the time as well. Always
Good,
very
good, good.
hygienic, yep. Could I use hand sanitizing gel?
You can.
Yeah?
Yep. I always advise to wash your hands though, but hand sanitizer gel's not bad either.
What's the difference?
Well, I think when you wash your hands with soap and water, you're more likely to get rid of more bacteria than just with alcohol wipes
Got you.
or gel. Actually, do you know what? That's not a bad thing that you've just done there. Your blood doesn't flow as well when it's cold.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
warming up the hands, sort of, you can even rub
Playing
them
the fool,
together.
really.
I was
That
playing, I
encourages,
was, yeah. I was trying to get a cheap laugh, Sean, but actually,
Well, actually, you were onto something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Are you going left or right?
left.
Left, okay.
And I would advise to use either your middle or your index finger. And also, you also want to go on the side of the finger. That's the best angle. Yeah.
Okay.
And just bear in mind, you do only get one needle, so you do want to get it done the first time. But they're very easy to use, so it's hard to do it and not get it right.
I'm a little concerned that I'm going to hurt myself.
I think everyone's always
me too.
scared. Yeah. Don't be concerned
Is
at
this
all.
the worst bit? This is like the...
It's
In
the
terms
weight.
of pain, I think it's the anticipation of pain that's the worst. And then when you actually do it, it's not as bad. How was that?
Fine.
The look of relief on your
Slightly different
face.
reaction here. What's going on?
It took a little bit of time for the prick to come.
Yeah.
But
oh, there you
once
are.
he arrived,
It's always the way.
And what you want to do, you want to try and squeeze out as much blood as you can, because you want to get enough of a sample into the bottle. So try to get maybe like 3 drops of blood if you can in there. So also, the bottles are labelled and they're numbered, so very easy to tell which bottle goes next. So number 1 is the one with the red lid, so you can remember that as the blood, so red for blood. So that's where you
so
put the
little
blood.
coming out.
Yeah.
Once that first drop comes out, it really just gets
Then
messy,
it
doesn't
just,
it?
It keeps going, doesn't it?
So how long from possible infection, how soon could this test pick that up?
So this test has a 3-month window period. So it can
Okay.
pick up any risk that you took 3 months ago, and of course anything before that. But if you were to present
Right.
in a clinic, they will more than likely do a blood test, which has a much shorter window period. But this is a really good test if you're just testing at home and you don't have a specific risk that you're worried about. It's just part of your routine
Exhausted.
screen. Then this is a really good
Have
test.
you?
I'm just being a bit slow today. I think it's because it's cold.
It's cold and yeah,
And I'm so
The capillary
gentle and
refill's not that
female,
great.
you know. So gentle.
it's just delicate.
Delicate, that's it. Gentle.
Oh, here we go now. This is a
Yeah.
big boy.
Are you capable of communicating and it not being innuendo? Because all you
Is
said
that
so
what
far,
I've been
yeah.
doing?
Is the prick going to come? This is the big boy.
It's kind of hard to do it without throwing in some innuendos, I think,
Yeah.
with this test.
I couldn't think of a synonym for prick in time, sorry.
Did that hurt like you're expecting it to?
It didn't hurt at all. I'm not just saying that, it really didn't. I'm a real wuss.
I think people have a phobia against needles, which is completely, especially if you have a bad experience initially, if you go into a clinic or hospital. A lot of people, when they're children, they're going to hospital. It's quite a traumatic experience to have your blood drawn. So it's completely normal and understandable to be a little bit anxious about having a needle.
Is it the
placed in you.
same tech, the same as like a diabetic who was needing to test their blood sugar level? Is it the sort of same thing?
Yes, it's a similar process. Completely different test, but it's a similar way of doing it. Almost like a COVID test or even like a pregnancy test. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it feels like a needle. I would say it feels more just like a little...
Like a sharp
pinch.
scratch.
Yeah, like a pinch, I would say.
It's like being
Yeah.
flicked.
Like my sister has definitely hurt me more, you know?
We can talk about that later. Some counselling.
Have you added your blood sample? No.
Oh, now it's really common. Look.
Are you doing?
Yeah, you both got your blood in the bottles.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're all going to do the blue one together, right? Yeah.
Why's your one gone quite clear?
Has yours gone? Okay, yeah, you pop yours in. No, that's what happens. So once the blood goes down,
Have you
it goes
strapped
clear,
it?
and
Oh,
then
he's
you put-
poured it in
he's
already,
poured it in
I
already,
see.
yeah.
You're strapped.
Yeah.
You're packing.
Always.
Oh, yours has gone down as well. Yeah, so we can go into the second stage now, guys. So before the first one goes to the bottom, the first one, which is the liquid that includes your blood, it has to go all the way to the bottom. So you don't want to see any fluid still leap in, in the lancet before you then add number 2. So make sure it goes all the way to the bottom. That's
Cool.
it. And then you've added number 2.
Yeah.
And same again, let it go all the way to the bottom. And at this stage, you should be able to see a faint outline of the blue dot that I was talking to you about before, the control test.
Yours is drinking it down faster than
It
mine.
is.
It's
Yeah.
going very
Thirsty over
Thirsty.
there. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I
she
can
said
see I can see my control dot.
Yeah,
Sorry, what did you
fantastic.
say?
Well, she said I had a lot of blood in mine, so mine's like Nosferatu over here. It's like really drinking it up.
Have a look. Let me just pop it on. Let me just have a look under the light quickly. Yep. So that dot there,
yeah,
that's the
there.
control test. The first dot at the top, the one at the top, that's the one that that has to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a control dot, what would you do?
So if you don't see a control dot, which is the dot that comes at the top of the test, that test tells us that the test is valid. If you don't see that dot, then discard it and order a new test. Okay, guys, I think stage 3.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you can put it in, that's fine. And it takes about a minute for your result to come.
Sorry, yeah. It's not very good medical privacy, is it?
Well, no,
Should have like
even that.
blinkers on, so I can just see mine.
Actually, I wasn't even thinking that. In my head, I was like, don't cheat.
Yeah, and the test result doesn't matter. It's up to every individual whether you want to share a result or not. But that's not the point of why we're testing. It's to know our status is essentially why we're doing the test. Yeah, so all of you have your results back now. So if you look down, if you don't have a second dot, that means you're HIV negative. And if you do have a second dot, that means you're HIV positive.
Okay.
And if you're at home and you do have a positive result, then attend your nearest sexual health clinic, and you don't need to book an appointment to do this.
I've got to be honest. Sorry, I had like a sort of faint feeling of anxiety before taking the test,
Yeah.
and part of me, I think I actually said to you, Sean, I said ignorance is bliss. And,
You did.
and you said no, Ollie, ignorance is not bliss. And I think that's quite important. That even if you feel that sort of fear about taking the test, it's important to know your own status, isn't it?
Especially if it's so easy as this is, like it's taken all in like 2 minutes.
If
Do
that
the
is that
entire
even.
process, yeah.
And the thing about testing is that it doesn't change your status. Whether you test or not isn't going to change your status. What testing does is it lets you know what your status is, and then you can move accordingly. And I think your reaction is so common. A lot of people get anxious about HIV, and I think oftentimes it comes from a place of miseducation, and we still don't know how, a lot of people don't know how far we've come with HIV. If you think about the last 40 years and how far we've come in terms of prevention, treatment, and awareness, we know that if you're living with HIV and you're on effective treatment, you can be what we call undetectable. So undetectable essentially means the virus in your body is so low that it can't be detected on a test. And it means that you can't pass on the virus even if you have unprotected sex. So you might have heard the term U equals U. Undetectable equals untransmittable. So that means you can't pass the virus on if you're on effective treatment. So this is why it's so important to know your status, because if you don't know your status and you're not undetectable, it means not only are you putting your health at risk, but you're putting other people's health at risk. Whereas living with HIV now, you can live to a normal life expectancy, you can have children and not pass the virus on, and there's no difference between you who's positive and somebody who isn't.
And I suppose there's an assumption that, an incorrect assumption, that if you are heterosexual, you don't need to have the test.
Yeah, that's a very outdated way of looking at it. And I think a lot of times, because if you think about where HIV started initially in the 80s, it very much affected the gay community and the African community. And so a lot of the health promotion was sort of targeted at these areas. And so if you move over 40 years and how, you know, the society has changed a lot, even in terms of how we view sex and how we engage with each other when it comes to sexual contact. A lot of people are more higher risk now because you assume that you're negative, that it can't affect you. And what we've seen actually now since the provision of PrEP is a massive reduction in men who have sex with men testing positive for HIV. And we're actually seeing spikes in the heterosexual community now because there is this sort of lax way of thinking about HIV and thinking, oh, it can never affect me. But it's something that can affect anybody. It doesn't discriminate.
Right. So it is important to get tested
It's
regardless
of your sexual orientation, regardless of your gender, regardless of how you identify. Everybody who's sexually active should be having a regular HIV test.
The only bit I was nervous about in that whole test was the prick at the beginning, and it was fine.
Yeah.
That was the only bit I didn't want to do.
And it's fine. No pain, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah, and I'm really soft.
Yeah. And it would tell us, so that test would tell us what your HIV status was 3 months ago. And let's say you do have a risk that's a shorter window period. So a window period is the time where you're at risk of an infection, where you've been in contact with somebody who may have the virus, and a time when a test can pick it up. So depending on your risk factors, if you were to present in a sexual health clinic, we might very much do a serology, which is a blood test that has a much shorter window period. It can pick up 4 to 6 weeks. So this is a test that's great if you're at home and you're just part of your routine checkup. But if you are worried, if you're a little bit concerned, or if you are anxious about the result and you may want some support, it might be better to do it in a clinic environment as well. If you do a test at home and it comes back as positive, you will need to attend your nearest sexual health clinic as soon as possible, and they'll be able to do a confirmatory test.
We're here in London and we use the test Insti, and this week for National HIV Testing Week, you can get this for free. What do you do if you're not in England or if it's not testing week?
So these tests are available online for free, and you can also check your local supermarket because you can also buy these tests.
And can you get them from your local sexual health clinic?
You can, and a lot of times you can get them for free in your local sexual health clinic.
For more information, head to freetesting.hiv. Sarah, thank you so much for walking us through this process. It really was painless, it was quick, it was easy. I think everybody should do it.
Yep, I agree.